Hey ladies, I wanted to jump on really quickly and give you guys an update on where I am in my IVF journey. Um, I do have to say that I am still in shock that I am going through this process. Only because, like I said in my previous video, I went from inquiring about IVF to 2 days later, me actually going through the process. With the study that I'm in. So I was truly blessed, and I just want to give all praises to God because it has been a whirlwind, but it has been such a blessing. But let me go ahead and get started in this video. I'm just gonna jump right into where I left off, and I apologize if the lighting isn't very good. Or either if it shines on my glasses or something, I'm sorry. So anyway, when I left you guys, I let you guys know that I was just coming off of the birth control, or I think that I was going to be getting off of it in the next 2 days or something, and that I had started taking the Lupron at 20 cc's. So I stopped the birth control, thank God, and I was taking the Lupron, which I started the Lupron March 24th. And that went very well. And then March 31st, as I told you guys, I didn't know if I was going to get the Gono F or if I was going to get the study drug. I got the study drug. I wasn't really bothered about it. We kind of had prepared ourselves on whether or not, okay, if we get the study drug, how are we going to feel about this? Gosh. But I wasn't really worried. I love the clinic that I go to, the fertility center. I don't know, I just felt like I was in good hands, so I wasn't really worried about it. So I did get the study drug on March 31st, and my dosage at that time was 225. And so far I haven't had any side effects from it. Pretty much nothing. I've been feeling pretty normal. So I got the study drug on March 31st, and then on April 1st, I actually started like a mini cycle where I started bleeding, but it wasn't heavy, and it only lasted like 3 days. And I did call in about it because I was freaking out. And she said, no, it's normal. It's just because you're coming off the birth control. You're fine. You're not, everything is good. So after starting that, 5 days later from starting the study drug, which was April 5th, we went in for our first ultrasound. Yes, April 5th, Easter Sunday. So we had to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we got up. I wasn't really even bothered by it. We got on up, went in at 7, had the ultrasound. I was a little disappointed at that visit. When we first got there, they drew my blood because they have to check your levels to make sure that you're okay. As far as not wanting you to hyperstimulate. So they drew my blood. I had an ultrasound. And at that ultrasound, I really expected my follicles to be huge. Not really huge, but bigger than they were. So I was a little disappointed. I've taken, well, let me just tell you what they were. I had 13 follicles and a bunch of little bitty ones that were pretty much unmeasurable. But out of that those 13 follicles, all of them were under 10. So that was really frustrating because I've taken Follistim before, like I was going to say, and 3 days, 4 days max, my follicles were huge. I mean, 18, 20s, stuff like that. So I was kind of anticipating that it would be the same, going in and taking the study and medication. Even though it's a study drug, I still felt like my follicles would have been bigger. So I was a little disappointed when they weren't. I was okay that we had 13 and a lot of little bitty ones because I knew they would grow and more would grow. But I was disappointed in the size. So at that visit, they were a little disappointed in the size too, so they increased my dosage to 300. They didn't go higher than that because I believe that my level on this, and I'm not sure what the level is called, but it was like 400, and they really wanted it to be 1 to 2. So I was already above what they wanted. So they didn't want to increase it to the point where I would hyperstimulate. So they only increased it to 300. And so that was on the 5th. And then I had to go back in 2 days later on the 7th, I believe. And I'm just looking at my notes, guys. Yeah, on the 7th for another blood draw and ultrasound. So when I get there on the 7th, they draw my blood, and I have the ultrasound. I have 19 follicles. And still a bunch of little bitty ones. And on the right side, I had 10 follicles, and the biggest one was an 11. And on the left side, I had 9 follicles, and the biggest one was a 10.3. So I was still very disappointed, and I was just like, my body, I don't know what was going on with my body. It wasn't responding like I would want it to. And my nurse really reassured me. She said, hey, she was like, sometimes we just have to get the dosage just right so that it can work for you. She was like, don't worry about it. I was a little concerned about it though, because this was on the 7th of April, and my estimated retrieval date was the 10th of April, which is tomorrow because today is the 9th. So I was a little disappointed because I was like, you know, I really wanted to have my retrieval on the 10th. Another big reason why I wanted to have my retrieval on schedule is because my husband has to go away on a 2-week thing. You know, Army life, you know, it is what it is. So he will not be here for my retrieval or my transfer, which sucks, you know, but that's the life we live. Anyway, so I had 19 follicles, which were really good, you know, even though they were smaller. So, but the thing, once my blood results came back, they saw that my levels had went up even more than what they really wanted it to be. Even though I wasn't, you know, she still said, you're still fine. It's just a little higher than the norm. So they decreased it from 300 back down to 225. So I was really kind of disappointed in that too, because I was like, okay, now you guys are decreasing me and my follicles are not growing right. And it's just, you know, it was just really a stressful thing. So then they had me come back in 2 days later, which is today. And I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but once I started taking the study drug, they did drop the Lupron down from, I was taking 20 cc's, they dropped it down to 10. So I'm only taking the 10 cc's of Lupron through this process now. And so I went back in today for another ultrasound. They drew more blood. And so I go in for the ultrasound, and I'm thinking like, okay, you know, the last one, they were only 11. They're probably only going to be up to like 13 or 14 now, you know, whatever. So when we get in there and she starts counting them and she starts measuring them, and on the right side, I have 14 follicles, and the biggest one is a 17.5. Yay! So it's really big, and I'm so excited. And it just kind of go from there. Since there's 14 on the right, the biggest is 17.5, and then I had like 2 that were 16 point something, and then I had 15s, 14s, you know, on down the line. So I was really, really excited about that. And then on the left side, I had 11 follicles, and the biggest was a 14. So the left is moving a little slow, but so that's 25 in all, guys. I have 25 follicles, and she still said, you still have a lot of little bitty ones that were, and not little bitty like that, but little ones that were like 6 and 7 and stuff like that. So I was like, wow. So I was really, really excited about that. Not only because we have 25 follicles and they're ranging from 17.5 all the way down to 6 or whatever, down to 6 or something. I was really, really excited because you know, they had grown so much, and they were really excited. They were like, wow, you really jumped up there. So I think I had two that was 17. And then I had some that was 16, 15, 14. And this is on both sides. So yeah, I was really excited about that. And so she wanted to talk to the doctor because she didn't know if they were going to trigger me today or tomorrow. And she came back and she said, well, we're going to trigger you tomorrow because they want you to stem for one more night so we can kind of get those up, because they want you to be 18 and above before they trigger you. So she said, we want you to go ahead and stem for one more night. And then tomorrow, which was supposed to be originally my retrieval day, is actually going to be my trigger day. So I'm so super excited, guys. So my husband still will not be here for retrieval because he leaves Sunday, and Sunday is my retrieval day. So the 12th, I will be having my egg retrieval, and my husband leaves at like 6 that morning. So it sucks, but it is what it is. So she said that by me stemming for one more night tonight, and then by them giving me the trigger tomorrow, because of course the stemming is going to boost them, but then the trigger gives you that extra boost. She said, so they have no doubt that there'll be several that are be 20, 18s, all up in there. So I'm excited about that, guys. So that's the plan. That's where I am right now. I'm going to go ahead and stem tonight. And I'm stemming tonight at 300, if I didn't mention that. So they do want me to go ahead and stem tonight at 300, tomorrow the trigger, and then Saturday, because I believe they wait like 36 hours or close to that before retrieval. And Saturday, I'll kind of just chill and let them grow from tonight until Saturday. And then Sunday morning, after my husband leaves, then I think I have to be there at 7. I'm not sure. I have to double check that. But yeah, so I have to be there at 7. And I'm going to have to bring the sample with me because we weren't going to pay $400 for them to freeze it. So to freeze the sample. So he'll be giving me his sample early that morning, and then I'll be, having my retrieval that day. So I'm so excited, guys. I will come back and keep you guys posted. I do have to go in tomorrow, excuse me, and have another ultrasound and blood work to see where I am. But I'll come back. I'm probably going to come back Sunday after retrieval, and I'll let you guys know how the ultrasound went, how the trigger went, and how the retrieval went, how many eggs, and all that good stuff. I'll come back and share that with you. So keep your fingers crossed for me, guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.